Kezia, Gill.
It's going to be graphic now, but 5 minutes before you go on stage, it's like, I don't know what end it's going to come out of, but at some point my body is going to release.
And I'm Jade Helliwell.
I was going to projectile vomit on the audience the minute I tried to sing.
And you're listening to Do You Know Any Oasis? A podcast about two women trying to make an independent career in the music industry.
I know you write your own songs and everything, love, and they're good and everything, but do you know any Oasis?
Episode 4.
Yeah, baby.
We're back.
We're back in action.
Thank you for coming back.
If you did come back.
Well, it could just be us.
Just us. Anybody out there?
Just talking drivel.
Again.
But kind of useful drivel.
Yeah, a bit of an insight, I think.
Yeah, we've had some lovely comments, haven't we? We've had some really nice feedback. And I just think, yeah, we're kind of like just dishing the tea and spilling some of the nitty gritty behind the scenes stuff. And no more than today, we've got a real juicy little subject today, haven't we?
We have. Bit of mental health and music. Bit of chat about, you know, the toll it takes on you, the darker side.
Yeah, and I think it's
industry.
important to talk about this side as well, because we publicly show a very glossy veneer
100%.
of what goes on. They call it the smoke and mirrors, don't they?
Yeah, like the highlights reel type thing.
Yeah, and of course you want everyone to see you at your best and, you know, living my best life and all this kind of thing. And for the main part, we are. Like, we're doing what we love as a living. But I think what it's important to remember and certainly like acknowledge is that it's not all peaches and cream.
Absolutely.
It can get pretty grueling.
Definitely. I think, like you said, behind the scenes, there's a lot of rejection, pressure, feeling like you've been done out of something you worked hard for and things like that. And things like that, emotions in all careers, you know. But like you say, we don't share those parts because you're not going to put up a artwork of a lineup for a festival and put really excited guys to announce that I didn't get on this year. But it is a great festival for you get to.
Even, you know, I'm really excited to announce that I'm playing so-and-so this year. And from now until then, I'm not going to sleep and have anxiety attacks about whether I'll be good enough, whether I'll fulfill my full potential, or whether I'll just flop and die and I'll never create music again.
I mean, C2C week, won't we both dreaming? I sent you a voice note. I sent Kez a voice note saying, oh God, I had a horrible dream last night. I just couldn't get to stage. It was like you, Demi and Kez, you were and Jess. I said you were all on stage, and I was saying I'm supposed to be in that show. And I was trying to climb over people, and I just could never get to the stage. And you voiced up about it, and you're like, oh, so weird.
I had the same. We call it the anxiety dream.
Yeah,
and it's something stopping you getting to the stage. So for me, I couldn't find my guitar anywhere, and I'm backstage, and it's really busy. There's loads of people. And I was like, Lloyd, where's my guitar? Like, I'm due on in 5 minutes. Like, where's my guitar? And he was like, oh, I've sent it to Liechtenstein to be set up. And it was just the anxiety of like, I am not going to have my guitar for this massive moment. And I had a couple like that. But then obviously my anxiety was contagious, because then my auntie who was coming to the show with me said, I also had a dream that you lost your voice and you were trying to talk to me and you had no voice. And I was like, the anxiety is spreading.
Yeah, the dreams were like you're on stage and you look down and you forgot to put your clothes on. Awful. Or you go to sing but you can never be in time with the band and you're like, no, just let me start again. No, you had your chance, lady. I'm like, no.
I mean, the worry and the anxiety is just at next level. But you know, for me, something I struggle with, it's the concept of, how can I put this, like being on.
Yeah.
Like being, and I think it's a really common misconception that performers like us are super confident people. I'm actually quite shy.
Yeah, I'm not shy so much. I reckon what I would say is I think I come across as quite like boisterous and like confident, like you say, but I'm actually a little bit timid. Like I don't like confrontation.
Yeah, I would say, if I may, that you're quite a sensitive soul.
Yeah,
and I think the same way you pour your all into like your music and everything, you are quite easily offended. Yeah, and if you were to, which we've all done, like read something negative about yourself on social media, you don't just look at it and go, oh, whatever. Yeah, like we go and cry in the bath.
Like when someone just told me I should go to the gym.
Oh, please share. We're literally just setting up for the podcast. We've had a moment, haven't we? Jade shared.
I don't know whether it's just been worded wrong or what, but someone just commented on one of my photos saying, nice to see you've been to gym. the thing is, I am
Just an old photo.
So now I know you think I'm fat.
But you know what? It's I suppose in a way important that we've picked up on it, because people just comment, and they don't think
that's it. You know, things like that kind of about like think I can laugh at stuff like that. That's funny because it's like the goal like that is funny. But it's things like you say like, oh, I won't see her. She's shy. It sounds like a goat. I'll be like, why?
And there's a lot of tears in there, and it's really hard. And also, like, you'll be told maybe potential opportunities are happening, and then they don't.
Oh yeah, that
or
was the
someone's
worst.
going to come and see your show, and then they don't.
Yeah.
Or we're going to pitch you for playlisting. You've not been chosen.
Yeah.
And it's just constantly having to readjust and reset and deal with, am I good enough?
And the roller coaster of hype, like say you're getting we're pitching for playlist, you're hyped up, they love the song, got your first play, release date's coming, you've done all your social media plugging, the song's ready, it's midnight, it drops, no playlist,
nothing
done.
I mean,
Tumbleweed.
at our level, we have to deal with flops.
Oh god, yeah. Flop.
I mean, and you know the hardest thing, like we talked on the last podcast that we did about the massive amount of time that goes into producing music, right from inception, the idea of the song, the production, the mixing, the mastering, and then having to just sell your wares, flog your wares, basically, social media. I mean, it's like pre-save my single, my single. The only reason,
shut up, lass, I've pre-saved it, sick of seeing it.
Desperate for that, because that will then give us a chart position.
Playlisting.
And the more noise we can make, then it will go for playlisting. But the truth is, if we don't get playlisting on these massive social media platforms, so music platforms like Spotify and Apple, Amazon and Google, the song dies. It goes to the song cemetery. And it's a really sad time, because what's nice is we will always have our core fans that will download our music and support it. But with all due respect, you can't keep preaching to the converted. You've got to gain new fans, and that's where playlisting is brilliant.
TikTok got me in it.
Oh, honestly. But when you don't get playlisting, it's like the ultimate rejection, isn't it?
Oh god, yeah.
And then you start asking yourself, this is where the mental health aspect comes in, because you start questioning, am I good enough?
Yeah. Why am I doing this?
Should I be making music? What am I doing? And we've had many a WhatsApp call. And I'm like, wait, I'm done. Not doing it anymore. And you just, but you have to go, never give up.
Well, look, it wasn't long as I was like, I feel like I'm hitting a wall. I'm just going to give up. She sent me a really nice, lovely, emotional message. But what I'm leaving out is I was drunk. So next day I messaged her like, hi, sober now, never giving up. Never giving up, just having a little cry.
It's so hard. And like I said, with feeling like you need to be on, I feel like you can't tell people that you've been struggling. You can't let that come across. You have to be happy and smiley. And when people come to see you at gigs, even just like trying to remember people's names on top of everything else. And I had a situation recently at a show where I was really nervous about it, a big moment for me. And I knew that people had come a long way to see me. And I could see them standing at the front of the stage and like on the barriers. Yeah. But I couldn't like connect with them at all. I had my in-ear monitors, which are like headphones, but they go right into your ears. So I had a lovely like mute sensation. And I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to look at anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone, because I was just thinking about the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Am I going to get these songs right? Am I going to deliver? Am I going to trip going up the steps? Yeah. I just wanted to be in my own world. Yeah. And because there was no backstage area, I knew those people were there and waiting for me to be the chatty Kezia. Oh, good luck with your set, darling. Yeah. And I knew they were there for me, but I couldn't
bring yourself.
I couldn't let them in. Yeah. I couldn't be on. I was like, I have got to just zone in. And I think there's a lot of artists that they have like, what would you call it? Like a mantra or a ritual that they do before they go on stage. And it's quite a private thing. You can't let the world in. And it's hard at a festival, for example. Yeah. Where there's a bunch of other artists backstage. You're trying to get ready for a show. They've just come off stage and they're having a beer. And it's like, it's hard, isn't it, to be on? And I find that affects me sometimes. I like to be quiet, and it can get a bit much, a bit overwhelming, I think is the word. Yeah.
Well, like it's funny, like you're saying, like your mantra and getting in your head. The first time we kind of met, I guess, was Buckle and Boots. And like you said, Kezia's memory of me at Buckle and Boots in 2018 is the show. My memory of Buckle and Boots 2018 is shaking like a shitting dog while someone followed me around.
This is a classic example.
What's it called? Reiki.
Well, let's tell them. So my perception of that moment as the audience member, Jade and I weren't friends, but I knew of her, and she walked on stage in these incredible red flared trousers. Her hair was long and she came on with so much confidence, and I was in awe. I was in absolute awe of it. I was like, I want to be that woman. I want to be friends with her. I want to write music with her. I want to be her. And I had such like stars in my eyes, and you walked on, you smashed that set.
Well, thanks.
But let's now take your version of events.
So I was a tad hungover that day. Love it hungover. I don't know about you again with the mental health thing. I get anxiety. Like I'll sit like, what did I do? What did I say? Is anyone offended?
Did I embarrass
myself? Did I make a fool of myself? Did anyone get a photo of me? And like, normally the answer is yes, Jade, you did. And we've all got the evidence. But it's because I was like, I don't deserve this. I had like 3 pints. That's all I'd had. So I was like, no, you're working tomorrow. Don't. I just can't drink.
You're just a lightweight.
So I woke up. That's it. I felt hungover, but then I brought it round. I had some lemonade and stuff, mingled, watching everybody. I was on later on. My family were coming to watch. I had a beer. I'm like, yep, feeling fine. Went to set the tent up for my family. And then I was like, right, I best get up and get ready. So my friend would do my makeup for me. And as she was doing makeup, I was like, oh, I don't feel very well. She was like, what was I? I feel a bit sick. And she was like, are you all right? I was like, oh, God, no, I think I'm going to be sick. This is evening time, so the hangover had been and gone. I'd not even been sick with the hangover. Like, and if I'm sick with hangover, it's in the morning. Enjoy that vomit chat. So I ran to talk. I was sick. That was it. It triggered something. And in my head, I was going to projectile vomit on the audience the minute I tried to sing. I was going to be like on everybody and spray them all in vomit.
But this goes to show that it wasn't a hangover. Yeah. This was show anxiety.
Like, anxiety. And I could not get out of my head about some. My friends trying to do a makeup. Then I go be sick again. Then I was shaking, and I was better in a ball. Then I was better stood up. Then I was better in a ball. And she was like, "I'm trying to do your eyeliner, babe. Sit down." So Luke comes up and is like, you know, Carl, they've said they can try and move you back a little bit if you want. I was like, no. I need to go on now. I can't take another hour of this. I need to stick to the time. And they were like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, I know I look an absolute mess, but I know when I'm on the stage, I will be fine. But just this little lead up here, for some reason, I'm having a really bad turn right now.
Yeah.
And I've never suffered like that before, ever.
Wasn't someone doing Reiki on you?
Yeah. So
Jules
from Ovett Road, she comes over, she's like, I'll do Reiki. So she's following me down around me. You feel the energy. I was like, can't feel anything. So I got myself ready. I walked all the way down, like from the house down to the stage. She's raking around me. I'm like I say, forward, don't make eye contact with anybody. I bet they thought, rude. Who does she think she is, avoiding eye contact with her own personal Reiki master? Made me way backstage, people talking. I was just like, oh God, and my legs are like shaking. Luke like, are you okay? I was like, just play the music, just start the tracks, just get on the drums. So I'm like, side stage, wobbling. Literally, it's like something coming over.
On your cane.
Just fine then.
Ball
and
of
it
energy.
Stopped, gone, had a great night.
And this is the crazy thing. That's where the audience and your situation is very different.
Yeah.
You'd had all that drama. I saw
horrendous.
none of that. I just saw you rock onto stage, and that's what I saw. And I think it's a good story that indicates just how much we physically go through to do what we do.
I know, not long after we went to Australia with obviously the Buckle and Boots guys, and Jan being like, you okay tonight? I was like, Jan, it was a one-off, I swear, I'm good. It was a blip. And she was like, I've got some calms just in case. She was feeding me out fennel seeds, peppermint teas. She was like, are you okay? I was like, I just need to get on and then I'll be fine.
Do you get nervous still?
Not really. I do if it's like... So, example, C2C, I've been going there for years and always wanted to play the Town Square stage. And it moved this year to the Barrel House, which was even bigger capacity, amazing. Yeah. I felt nervous before that. And I feel like I enjoyed my set, and I feel like, you know, the band, they're always great. They smashed it. I really enjoyed my set, but I could sense that I was a little bit nervous during that set.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like you say, I'd put a lot on it. There were various other stuff in my head with that gig, and I'd put a lot of pressure on myself.
It's the pressure, I think.
Yeah,
that
and
gets
like
to
I remember,
us.
and obviously Luke always plays with me, and it's good to have him with me before a gig, so you can kind of chill me. I was like, just chill. He was in Turkey, so I didn't have that. And he was flying home, and I'm always anxious when he's flying anyway. Like, you know, when someone you love's travelling, you're like, so I was nervous before that set. But then the Sunday, I enjoyed every single minute of it, and I didn't feel nervous at all.
Yeah.
I don't really get, like you say, nerves before show. I get the excitement, but the excitement can be like that effect as well.
Yeah.
The pure excitement of just watching your clock thinking, I want to get on. And like, I don't know if you remember at the Girls' Night In show in Glasgow, I was like, there's something wrong. I'm really anxious and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I was backstage, like really wringing my hands out.
Fidgety,
like,
you can't
fidgety,
sit still, you can't
I'm
get
up,
a
I'm
minute.
down. Like, I just need to get started and I'll be fine. For some reason, for whatever reason, that one day I felt affected by it. And like you say, like, mine always goes away the minute I get on stage, but I do every now and then just suffer with pangs of anxiety / excitement. I don't know. It's like the two kind of muddle together. Do you feel like you suffer with it?
Yeah, I do. Not nerves as in like, oh God, can I do this? And I'm shaking, I'm sweating.
Not doubt.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It's you're right. It's almost like an excitement. It's a feeling in your tummy. And, you know, you literally, I'm going to be graphic now, but 5 minutes before you go on stage, it's like, I don't know what end it's going to come out of, but at some point my body is going to release all this energy. I'm either going to throw up or make a hell of a mess in there. And it's just, your body is literally
I get dithery and shaky, and
it's not that I have any doubt in my ability, because I know once someone said, I know I'll be fine. Yeah. And I know that even if I forget the words, forget the chords, I'll roll with it. I've been doing it long enough that I can just pick up. We all make mistakes. I'll laugh, we'll move on. Yeah. So it's not like, am I going to get this right? Yeah. But I will say something that has always been an issue with my mental health is I'm a people pleaser. So I always worry, will people like me? Yeah. Will people want to come and see me again? Yeah. Will they think I'm arrogant? Like for ages, I'd watch someone like Freddie Mercury. I'm like, that's a showman. That's how you do it. And he'd walk out onto a stage and he'd just put his hands in the air and he'd go, I am here. Yeah. Let me entertain you, you know. And you'd watch again like someone like, classic example, Robbie Williams. Yeah. So sure of himself. Yeah. Never once have I watched him and thought, you big-headed bugger, you know.
No, you gotta think, what a show.
What a showman. But with myself, I would think if I show any kind of confidence, people won't like me. You have, you know,
it's weird, isn't it?
But you want to put on the show. I want to walk out and put my hands in the air and say, let me sing for you. Let's raise the roof. Let's set this show on fire. I want to do all that, but then I'm second guessing myself all the time. And then a classic example, I did a festival a few years ago, and it was a headline slot, really big opportunity, and I'd ran over time slightly because I do love a chat, and our last song got cut, so I didn't get the big crescendo finish that we'd wanted. It was just like, you've got to cut this now, cut, and I walked off stage and burst into tears. I'd done just over an hour and 10 minutes on stage, and all I could think about was the fact I didn't get my big last note. Yeah, and my husband and my manager were like, you nailed it. Look at, they're screaming your name out there. They were literally chanting my name. Yeah. It was like, there's a queue out the door for your meet and greet. Dry your eyes, appreciate what you've just done. And all I was in bits. Yeah. Got back to, because it was a festival, we were camping, got back to the tent. I couldn't stop crying. Yeah. And Lloyd was like, why is this hurting you so much? I was like, because it didn't go how I wanted it to go. Yeah. I didn't do what I needed it to do. And he actually said to me, if this is how music is going to affect you, I can't watch you go through this. Yeah. So I can't watch you tear yourself to pieces. He went, they loved you out there. You smashed it. You were fantastic. So you ran over. They had to cut your last song. Yeah. And I kind of got a bit of a wake-up call with that. I was like, if I keep doing this to myself, I'm going to stop enjoying it. I'm going to ruin it. Yeah. So now I do like to be a little bit more like, what will be, will be. And I feel like, again, it's part of being an older artist. I've been doing it for longer. You learn. But I was in a horrible state at the end of that show. Yeah. And it went really well.
Yeah, I was there and it was exceptionally well. It was a great show.
But you come off and it's another...
You just focus on the thing that went wrong.
It's another thing that makes it a pretty gruelling gig.
Definitely.
Hi, I'm Kezia Gill.
And I'm Jade Helliwell.
And don't forget, we are both independent artists.
So you can find all of our music on all major platforms.
We're everywhere. Let's talk rejection.
Got a lot of that. Got a whole lot of that. We talk about boyfriend.
Music?
What? Oh,
You know, it's when I get like a lot of younger artists that it's nice. They kind of look up to me, someone that's perhaps been through the ranks a little bit and worked their way up. And the piece of advice I always get is, what can you give us advice wise? And I'll always say, keep going. Don't let the no's get in your way, because I'm telling you now, I don't care how good you are, you will get them.
Oh God, yeah.
You will face rejection on a regular basis doing this for a job.
Yeah.
And you have to keep going. That's my biggest piece of advice.
And I love watching, like, do you watch the like inspirational reels on TikTok?
Always.
And Instagram, and it's like, Oprah was fired from her job. 21 other stuff like Leona Lewis was turned away 3 times from X Factor or whatever factual number that is. Don't count for it. Like all that stuff. I'm like, and look where they are now. So I think things like that, you have to remind yourself, like, everybody gets rejection. You have to fight through rejection. Like I say, allow yourself that day to really feel sorry for yourself.
To cry and be sad
I really
about
wanted
it.
that. And then get back on the arse and get on with it,
I think what makes it personal with us with rejection, it's like if we were, say, marketing directors and we're selling a product and somebody doesn't like our product, then we think how we rebrand. And okay, maybe we need to change the advertising campaign, but we are the product.
Yeah.
So if somebody...
Can't change my voice.
Exactly. Yeah. And you take it personally. So if someone suddenly says, we're not going to book you on this time, or thanks for coming, we're going to go with someone else on this occasion, or we're not going to playlist this song on this occasion, that shit's personal.
Yeah.
And you're immediately like, well, why? What have I done?
What do I need to do now? How do I improve? It's funny, I watched Taylor Swift's Miss Americana documentary.
Yes.
And have you seen where they do the Grammy nominations?
Yeah.
And she didn't get nominated, and she instantly goes, was fine, I'll just make a better album. I'm like, Reputation was an incredible album. But her immediate response was like, I just need to make a better album.
Well, I'm going to draw attention to you, young lady.
Me?
A conversation we had very recently where something didn't go to plan, and you said, I just need to be a better artist. And I went, stop. Finger in face.
In it.
Stop it. You are one of the most talented people I know, and this is what happens. The opportunity wasn't right at that time.
Yeah.
Something else will come along. This is the nature of this business that we're in. But you immediately question yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Woman is the most amazing EP. Like, it can't be any better. You know what I mean? Like, it is you right now. It's not you 10 years ago. It's not you in 10 years' time. It's you right now. I'm more for them. But I tell you the worst culprit. Reality TV shows.
Oh, don't. Come on, let's have it now. Let's have some honesty.
Should we have
Let's have some honesty. So you had a good experience actually with reality TV last year.
I did. My first.
But you know what's funny? So this podcast is called Do You Know Any Oasis? Because we were discussing like all the things that you get asked like throughout the years. And like you say, you put your heart and soul into your own music and people will still want you to play Wonderwall. But,
that's all they care about.
All the things that you get
top
asked.
Question
Is, you ever thought about going on X Factor?
Tell you what, voice like that. You thought about Britain's Got Talent.
You got my vote, love.
And then you say, oh yeah,
I lie, it's not for me.
I'd say I've tried it a few times and they didn't have me on. Let me tell you where you went wrong. Listen.
What did you sing? In one of my cases, which to be fair, probably right. Breathless by the Cause. Wrong song.
What did you wear? I auditioned for the X Factor 11 times.
Shut up.
I did.
Were you going from birth?
It's been on about 16 years.
Has it? To be fair. Yeah, I first auditioned for X Factor when I was 16. So
I watched the first season and then auditioned every one since, only up until about 4 or 5 years ago.
Stop. What are some of your stories from X Factor? Come on, let's have it right. Those contracts don't count anymore.
Whoa, listen. They got nothing on me. This is the crazy thing. So I applied to audition as just a normal member of the public, but once you've done it a few times and they become aware of you, you get what they call scouted, which is where you're on a list of applicants, they're aware of you as a singer, and they invite you. So I auditioned both as general public, where you queue from 6 a.m. And you're lucky if you see him before 5. You pack a lunch and everything, like you're in the queue.
Got pneumonia. I've been there.
Dermot O'Leary passes you, you're waving. That's about all you get.
Silent. We're going to get some silent waving.
Silent waving. Yeah, I've done all that. You know, Ant and Dec running past you, silent cheering in the background. Done all that, but I've also done the scouted, where you're given a date and a time.
Straight into warmth.
Straight into the club room of the football ground that you're auditioning at. And I've gone all over: Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool. I've done them all. And I think probably the most demoralising one was when I did in London, and I'd got the train down super early from Derby to get the train into London. Got there, queued up in the street, and then you sort of get in, and there was a panel of 4 people, all kids, all young people, producers, and I sang Natural Woman, Aretha Franklin. I thought it could be a good
choice,
big song. And they just all sat crossed hand and looked at me and went, yeah, so it is going to be a no today, but don't give up. I thought, you patronising little twat. I thought, what right have you got to tell me to never give up? What media college have you just popped out of? And it made me so angry. And again, all the way on the train home, I'm done. Forget it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it again. But you do, you suck for punishment, you go again.
Yeah.
And I never ever got a yes on the X Factor.
Yeah. Well, I had similar. So I was 16, just turned 16. The age used to be 18 or something. They lowered it to 16. And I thought, it's my year. It's go time. Let's go. So I applied, got an audition at Manchester Football Stadium.
Yeah.
But I was sitting my GCSEs at the time. I was in school. I'm a September baby. Turned 16 in September, May, exams are up. My audition comes in. It's my music GCSE exam date. So I get in touch. I'm like, can I have a different date? I've got my music exam. They're like, oh, we found we are actually suffering this a lot this year now that we've dropped the age down, with a lot of people in high school still clashing with the GCSEs. But all we'll say is you need to make a decision. We won't change your date. You need to make a decision, on what the music means to you.
How bad
and I was like, I wanted to be a star. Do you know what I mean? I was like, God, I'm going to have to figure this one out. And my mum and dad are so supportive. They always have been. And they're like, look, it is your shout. We would love you to go and do your exams, but do you believe this is what you're going to do? We're not going to tell you no, because I know full well you'll just get a book and just take off on your own. So I decided to skip my GCSE exam, which was also my last day of school, and go to Manchester to become a star.
So you skipped your music exam.
Not only that, I took a friend with me. And it was one of them, you arrive for 8 a.m.
Yeah.
You're queuing outside. Freezing cold. You're in stadium. You're called down steps. You go on. You through to the next round. I had to go back next day.
You got through?
This is it. I thought, this is it.
This is unknown territory for me.
Next day, I'm through to, you're just straight inside auditioning. I got through again. They're like, you need to stick around. We're going to have another audition later today. I'm like, this is it. This is Simon's round the corner. Leona, come at me. The videoed your third one, sent you home and let you know by post, and then the rejection hit the floor. And
on this occasion, we're going to say no.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I've just blown my life up. I've missed my exam. Can't retake that. So I joined sixth form, but I wasn't allowed to take music as a GCSE. Sorry, it's an A level.
That could have massively influenced your life.
Because I'd missed my GCSE. So I was like, can I just retake it? And they were like, no. Oh, and we know where you were.
Wow.
You weren't poorly. We know. I'd been pulled before. Like, there's a rumour going round that you're planning to miss your GCSE exams to audition for the. Just let it be known. I think you're a very foolish girl if that's what you do. I thought, they don't know me. They don't know what it is to have a dream. Oh. They don't know what it is to reach for the stars. Eh?
Honestly, I've reached. Don't upstairs.
Sour off. But then I lost interest in my A levels because I couldn't do music. So I blame X Factor. So I dropped out. And I worked for years cleaning a hospital. and then I bounced job to job until I finally found my feet now where I am. Had I have taken that GCSE, the plan would have been to do music A-level, and then I would have hopefully gone to Leeds College of Music.
Yeah.
Which, weirdly, I would have been the same year as Laura Oakes.
Would you really?
And Luke Barrett.
So you could have been writing from...
In it. For
producing
being young
music from being
instead.
Young. Yeah.
But that didn't stop me auditioning again the following year.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We're a sucker for punishment. Because I auditioned for The Voice. And it was the first year, the first season it had ever been out. So it wasn't even a thing. But again, I was scouted for
Becky Hill season.
Yes.
Love
And
Becky Hill.
this was actually a much more positive experience up until a point. So again, I'll try and be brief because I am bitter about it. But I was living and working in Lanzarote at the time, and I've received an email inviting me. I flew home for the audition. Jesus. So I booked time off work, booked flights home, came home. Took my mum and dad with me. It was one of those it's like a hotel conference room.
Yeah.
Did the first audition. It was literally like a criminal lineup. There's like 10 of us in a room, go down the line.
Yeah.
So-and-so number step forward, so-and-so number step forward, right, you're through. It was brutal. They didn't even use your name. And then second one was a bit more, okay, right, you've got a song to sing and we could use a track. So I took my guitar. And then the third round was a little interview on film. So I did that. I'm trying to think how old I'd have been. Not much older than 20, 21. And got through all three of them, got the call, you've been successful, to come for the basically the casting process of the show. So this was a week in London where we would go and we did like filming, we got to go to the studio, we did singing stuff, we sang with the band, and it was all to see if we were a fit for the show. I got through that. Now I'm on the show. I know I'm on the show. Yeah. And again, they pay for you to go down to London, travel first class, you're in a nice hotel. And all the time I was being told, oh, you've really got something special. I was really in a positive position with this. Got through to filming. I had an amazing vocal coach that worked on my song with me, worked on with the band. I was singing You've Got the Love by Florence and the Machine, which I must add, I'd been given to sing. Yeah. There was no, what do you want to sing? Yeah. I was given that song, but I love the song, so I was happy. Practiced with the band, and all the band were like, you know, if you don't get through, I'll eat my hat, all this sort of thing. Then I had a costume fitting for the show, and we were asked to bring 3 outfits. So I brought 3 outfits, and one of them was a little sequin sparkly dress, and I put it on. And you have like notes that all of the people will read. So the wardrobe's looking through the notes, and she went, well, looking at your notes, she went, I would save that one for the final. And I went, what? She went, listen, I can't discuss your notes, but save that dress for the final. She went, wear the sparkly top and the leather pants, which I did. Went on, did the show. It was The Voice, 4 chairs. They're all facing the audience. Walked on, hearts in my mouth. Chord strikes up. Sometimes I feel like the audience are on their feet. They're cheering, they're screaming, push your buzzer, push your buzzer. Song ends. No one's turned. Shut up. I'm just stood there and I'm like, mortified. What now? I was, that's the right word, mortified. And this was back when they used to turn and give you some critique.
Shut up.
And I felt myself flushing red. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. And my family had all come up to be in the audience. And like my dad was backstage with Reggie Yates watching, and you know, and we all drove home that night in silence. And it took me a long time to come back from that. Yeah. So when you talk about like mental health in music, I actually postponed my wedding with Lloyd because we were engaged quite young.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I would have been a little older than 20. I met him at 19. I think we got engaged about 22. So recently engaged. We were due to get married that year. And I was a mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was questioning myself and my music, I questioned everything. Questioned my relationship, questioned whether I wanted to be in Spain or not. I just thought that the answer was to just move abroad and go on the cruise ships, travel the world, be on my own, shut everyone out. And Lloyd took the brunt of that. And he even says now, he says like, that destroyed you. That show absolutely destroyed you. It's mad
the effect it can have on you. I think, and like, I had a very similar, well, literally very similar thing. I feel like I've got 2 stories. I'm going to tell that whether we keep them in this podcast or not, because I might go home and think, actually get them out. I'm really revealing myself now. I also did The Voice and had the same experience. So, like you say, scouted, we want you to be on, you jump, you don't need to audition, you jump,
jump the
you're
queue.
taken straight in. So I just went straight. I just had to take some outfits and stuff, pick 3 songs, and they'd pick the top one.
Okay.
And rehearsed it with the band down in London. Then they'd create like a minutes version out of it, send it to me. I'd sent a couple songs, some country, some not, and they said, no, we really like the Carrie Underwood Before He Cheats. I was like, sweet, actually doing country.
Yeah.
Same thing, do all your outfits, picking your outfits up, how do you want your hairstyle, if there's a makeup artist there, hairstyle, it's all about touching you up. Yeah. And all the interviewers are saying to me, what we love is that you're doing country music, like it's in the UK, we love pushing the country thing, and I'm saying, how country isn't what people associate it with. There's all different types of country music, blah, blah, blah. And feeling really positive. Luke is sceptical. He doesn't like talent shows on TV. He thinks they're all designed to take the piss out of you. So he was like, they're going to take the piss out of you. It's going to turn ugly. They're going to take the piss out of you because you sing country music. I was like, nah, they're not doing that.
They're encouraging it.
I'm wearing something I want to wear, like how I dress. The band sounds great. Like they're encouraging it. They're really up for it. So I had my actual audition, like, on the chair turning audition. And the day before I was meant to go to the audition, very suddenly my grandma passed away. So I was like, well, I'm not, sorry, no, it was the day of I was meant to get trained. She passed away and I was like, well, I'm not going, obviously now. But she kept asking me about the voice, telling me, you better pick that Tom Jones. You pick Tom Jones. Me getting it back down, bloody Tom Jones. Don't be picking down. If Tom Jones turned, you pick Tom Jones and stuff. So I had a big decision to make. I was like, do I not go or do I put on a brave face and carry on? Because my grandma wanted me to audition. Yeah. So I rang my best friend Emily. I was like, this is a situation, what? She had me back. She said, listen, I've got out of work, I'm coming with you. I'll come and stay. So she got trained down, met me in town. We had some food, went to hotel, had my little cry. Woke up next day and she was like, you go, I'm going to meet you there. My mum, my auntie Sharon and my dad were coming down, but I'd said to them, no pressure now, don't come, things have changed, you don't need to come. Bless them, they all got trained, still came. And I said to her, I made a conscious decision, I'm not telling anybody what's happened. Because reality TV loves a sob story.
Then I'll lap that up.
They'd have been all over it. And it was raw.
Slow music.
It was raw. I'd have been crying my eyes. I thought, nah. So I sat quietly on my own all day, being taken in. You have a vocal coach see you. You have hair and makeup see you, all this stuff. Doing all BTS, getting me with my family, getting me walking through, doing all that stuff, chatting about stuff. Thought, here we go, it is then. They're doing a little video of us all chatting together. If you can all talk about like how it is, like how excited you are and stuff. We're all dead awkward. So there were some people proper like over top with family, like, yes, I've been a performer all my like proper on it. I was like stage school to shit. Like, do you know what I mean? And like I was sat back with my mate, like it was well awkward in it, and everybody were like pfft. And then she'd be like, hey, look, they're shooting her there. Let me get him back down like camera. We were like proper taking piss, like trying to get in. Audition comes, me, mum, dad, Auntie and Emily are side stage, and I had some more family come down on train to sit out in audience. Same thing, go out, immediately start, audience are up screaming. Yeah. It ends, no turn. But they didn't, this is when it changed. If they didn't turn, you've just to go hand your mic in and piss off.
I don't know what's worse. I mean, I stand and I hear why they didn't turn. I was just like...
But when I got off, I'm immediately grabbed. Oh, it's a shame, innit? Oof. Do you think it's because you took a risk and you played country music? I thought they fucking played me. They have played me. I went, no, I don't think it is. I said, and she was like, what will you do now? I said, I'm going to go home and I'll continue making country music because that's what I do. And I was like, that's what I'll continue doing. So they bring me out and says, we're going to reunite you with your family now. If you can just talk back. They want to video you being reunited for your rejection cuddle. But the thing is, like I said, we're not like that. So I walked through. My mum went, oh, well, onwards and upwards. My mate went, giving it, piss off. So obviously they couldn't air it. No one could. I'm not throwing out sad cuddles on my gate anyway. If we move now, we can make it for a Swiftie in train station. Let's get off. So we all went home, and then the emotion of what had kind of gone on over those two, combined with the fact that I'd just lost my grandma the day before. Sat in Aberdeen pub. We went home, and I like I said, I would say, I was like, God, I feel really defeated, really deflated. I thought, I've done this through locking away my grief. And again, a mental thing. I had to lock that up and not allow myself to think about what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Until I could get home and it was over and done with. But the mental toll that shit takes on you. But I think as much as that sort of stuff, I'm like, but I think I'm quite resilient in being like, I need to give myself a day and think, you need to cry in the bath.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast, do a bit of journaling, read,
Go for a walk.
eat all the chalk.
Yeah.
And then next day you need to get your game face back on and think about what's next, how do you move on? But that was one of them, like I needed a day to kind of think about, oh my God, that would destroy me.
It took me months to come back from that.
Yeah.
And
because it's like I say, it's soul destroying to think, oh God, I believed that you really wanted country on the show this year.
Yeah.
But actually now I feel like you're just
You've
kind of
been played.
mocking me.
Yeah.
You're kind of thinking country music.
I just immediately just went to, I'm never going to be successful in this.
Yeah.
This is a me thing. My music's not good enough. My look's not strong enough.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you kind of hit the 30 mark and I start thinking, I'm too old. I've missed the boat. Billie Eilish was coming up 18 years old. 42 million followers.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm struggling to get views on TikTok here.
Innit?
And I thought, give it all up. Let the youngsters do it. But I will never give this up.
Yeah.
I'll be doing this in my 70s.
I had a
God willing.
similar thing, kind of not with the give it up, but feeling boxed in. So obviously I've been doing this since I was a kid, as we know, and I had this viral video. That video haunts me to this day of people who just want to hear me sing Hallelujah. They just want to hear Hallelujah.
I mean, I am one of them.
And the month after that, again, got scouted for X Factor.
Yeah.
Queue jump again. They were pulling me. There's like, we've got 3 artists who are going to have interviews with Dermot O'Leary. You're one of them. We want you out. I'm out chatting with Dermot. He's asking me about the video. Wow, that must have been great. I'm taken straight. I didn't have to audition. I just had to do one with some producers. And they're like, yep, we love what you're doing. Straight through. And they'd asked for 5 tracks. I said, your first one you're going to do, your second one potentially, your third probably not, your fourth and fifth are not going to be done. It's for a later round. So the 5th song I'd put in was Crazy Pat Decline. The first song was one of my own songs. I can't even remember which song it was, but it was an original song. Can't remember the in-between songs. So they come to the point, they're like, oh, you're on. So I was on in front of like Simon Cowell and Robbie Williams, all that. Came on the stage, playing my own song. Oh, it's in Wembley Arena. Playing my own song. Audience is going mad for it. I'm thinking, fucking hell, this is it. This is what it's like to play your own music and people enjoy it. Simon Cowell put his hand up.
Oh, can I stop you there?
Stop.
No.
Oh, I've been so embarrassed. I was like, yeah. He says, I really like the song, but it says here you do country music, and I'd love to hear you sing a country song, so can you do the Pat Decline one? Well, I haven't practised it, because they'd only told me when I got there, when I pulled in that morning. It's 5th on my list. I said, don't worry, you won't play it. So I'm thinking, God, I think I can remember it. I start, crazy.
On your guitar?
Yeah. Play it wrong, God. I played the wrong God. Carry on anyway. He stops me again. Audience start booing. I think, are they booing me? Then I realised, no, they were booing him. So I'm like looking around red face thinking, this is humiliating.
Yeah.
And he said, I've got a song I want to hear you sing. So I want you to go away and you're going to come back. So I was like, oh, all right then. So everyone's like cheering. I walked off and they says to me, oh, he's done this again yesterday with somebody else. So we need you to sit round here. So I'm sat, I've got my family with me. And Luke's at home. And they said to me, he's got a song, but we haven't got it yet, but we can't get it until this round of auditions finishes. So you'll either audition now, in the next batch, we'll just have to knock someone out. Someone else will lose its slot, like their dad, for next time. We'll knock someone out, you can have that slot in this afternoon, or you'll have to come back tomorrow. I was singing at someone's wedding. I said, I can't come back tomorrow, so I'm singing at the wedding. And again, I think you just need to have a think about what's more important, like, potentially the career or the wedding. And I said, what's more important is someone has paid me a deposit and planned their day to include music that I'm going to sing for them.
Exactly.
I cannot let them down. I'd learned from GCSE, do you know what I mean? I'd learned.
What's been to our show.
And I also, I didn't get it. I just knew they had all my notes about the fact it were going to be, can we sing Hallelujah?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I just thought I ain't prepared to be this show pony singing Hallelujah.
Good
Text
for
Luke,
you.
and Luke said, get off. If you feel like that's what they're going to do, he says, I feel like that's what they're going to do to you. So I went to see him. I just said, unfortunately, I ain't got time to be waiting around. One, taking someone's place or missing a wedding. I said, so I'm out. and I got train home.
Good for you.
So that's like me, close to the bone twice. Those are my reality TV stories. Whether this shit stays in this podcast episode, I don't know.
It needs to. It's real talk. And you know what? This episode, it's like we wanted to touch on some of the more grueling sides of this job, because it's not always easy, is it? And it's like we'll always, she says down in a glass of wine, we'll always have a laugh and stuff and be forward facing and show that we're living our best life and loving music. And for 90% of the time we are. Yeah. But there's a whole world of crap that goes with it. Disappointment, hardship, rejection, doubting ourselves, financial pressures, literally going into debt to make it happen. Yeah. And dreaming that one day someone will help us. You know, whether it be a label or a publisher or an industry professional can come along and help us take some of the load up to the next level. You know, sort of gambling on things and then feeling like you lose all the time. And like I said, if you do ever see us at a gig and we seem a little bit vacant or like we've got something on our mind, we have.
We're just trying to not have runs.
We're trying not. We're just
trying to not throw up.
We're trying to not throw up or defecate. We're trying to remember the fucking words to our own songs and not let you guys down. So if you see us at a festival, for God's sake, buy us a drink.
See you next time.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And keep sharing on socials and letting us know what you want to hear in a future episode.
Yeah, we love your comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow us on social media. I am Kezia Gill.
And I'm Jade Helliwell.
Thither.
Bye-bye.